you came into the world a fallen creature, already fallen. You were born of that image. We're a fallen race. So you were born subject to the outside, to wrong authorities on the outside, subject to your parents, your confused parents, your angry parents, your unaware parents, and subject to other people and to conditions. So you already had that. So you were vulnerable because you were born already subject. But you had a latent possibility of becoming a child of God. The miracle. For God, it's not a miracle. For God, it's magic. And through God's grace and His mercy and His love, that later in life, you could become reborn, where the self that nobody ever cared about, the self that was never nurtured, the self that was not protected, that self then begins to grow in now with your soul once again in the light and learning to trust God and getting to know Him as your Father and living in Him and getting your life from Him. Now listen to this. Do you understand the animal life is a life of reacting and emotions? But when you get your life from God, it's a whole different life. It's a life of love and peace and a life of security and faith and growth and discoveries. And then, as you have that, then you can begin to lay down the earthy life. The earthy life. You can begin to let go of those angers and those resentments and those become less emotional and less reactive. Let it go because you don't need it anymore. You don't need that sort of life. Christ said you must lay down your life. He was talking about the animal life and breath and pick up the spiritual life. But God begins the process. He gives you the spiritual life, and then it's easy to lay the other one down. But it takes time. It takes time. So you begin you at some point in your life, the light begins to dawn, and you see that there's something wrong with your reactions, with your resentments, with your angers, with your hostilities, with your rages, with your jealousies, and with what you do to others. Well, you begin to see something wrong with that, and you have a change of heart about it. You repent of it, but you can't change yourself. He changes you. And then ever so slowly, a little every day, you see another error and let it go. Another emotion, let it go. And then you begin to relate to things properly. Instead of reacting, you're patient. And you begin to relate to food properly, and to sex properly, and to your partner properly, and everything properly. And life is simple, because your life is now in God, hidden in God. And you grow in the light till you become totally light dependent. And at some point, you make the transition from death to life. It's very beautiful. It's a magic of God. So that's my little Christmas video. You probably noticed that the light was changing. There was sunlight, and then clouds came. And then when there was sunlight, then I was too bright. So I would close the blinds a little bit, and then it became too dark, so I would get up and open them. So there's some little breaks in the video, and that's where I got up and changed the light and all that. But the message is beautiful. I could make it into a slideshow, but I think I'm going to keep it as it is, with me, with the lights coming and going. And it's a beautiful message. It really is. And I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.